What's going on, everybody? So glad you decided to click on this video. This is our midweek series for the youth of Hachie First United Methodist Church. Let's go! In my defense, that was a Sunday, and I probably just ate a large meal. I probably just ate a meal, but Sundays are a great time to just fall asleep after having done that. I wanted to discuss one of my favorite passages in the Bible. It's found in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and there's just a mention of it at the end of John, but the scripture that I wanted to talk about was the prayer in the garden, or better known as the prayer of Gethsemane. Now, in this scripture, you find Jesus having done the Lord's Supper, and now he's traveled to a garden just outside of Jerusalem, and he goes there to pray, also knowing that he's going to be taken up as a prisoner in this same garden. He goes there with a few of his disciples. One of those is Peter, and as they go up the mountain to pray, he instructs Peter and the other disciples that are there to sit and stay watch and keep watch for anyone that might come. And then Jesus goes a little bit further, they say about a stone's throw away, and he prays on his own. So one of the things that I really like to look at here is the fact that his buddies, his pals, the disciples that he brings with him, do the same thing over and over again, and that is they fall asleep. Have you ever messed up? Have you ever just dropped the ball or didn't do what you were supposed to do? Me and my kids, we go and we recently have been riding our bikes in the streets. Matter of fact, I'll throw a picture up right here for you guys to see that. And it's been so much fun, me and Felicia and the kids. And actually, if you look at that, my two little ones are in this little wagon. Thanks to the Andrews for letting us use that. And we are just having a great time. But one of the struggles that we've had recently in doing this is that when cars come, the kids have to know the rule. And the rule is, get out of the street, right? A car's coming. Move to the curb. Get in the driveway. Just get out of the way of the car. Stop. That's a big one. And I find myself getting onto the kids over and over and over again because I'll say, a car's coming, and they will, in a way, do the right thing. They'll try to ride their bike all the way back to the house. Doesn't matter where we are. They'll ride back to the house. Or instead of riding to me, they'll just try to ride to Felicia, and she could be down the street. Doesn't matter. So the car will be driving, and my kids will be in the middle of the street, just riding their bike. Just, oh, a car, and instead of going to the curb, they do that. So my thing is, now I'm like, listen, do what I ask, please. If you read in the scripture, you'll see that Jesus actually comes out of his prayer. He walks over to them, and it says that it's been about an hour. Actually, Jesus points out, he wakes them up, and he's like, guys, can you guys seriously not keep watch even for an hour? Stay awake. Stay awake so that you're not tempted. Just do what I ask. Help me out here. Can you please? I don't know if it's actually that they're not wanting to pay attention. I don't know if it's actually that they maybe they've just zoned out or they don't care, or maybe that they're just focused on the big thing in front of them, like a car's coming. So they're not hearing anything, they're just running to what they think and know is safe, home. As far as the disciples go, I don't know if they're just comforted knowing that they're in the presence of Jesus. So they say, we don't need to watch. We don't need to keep our eye out for anyone. This is the same guy that calmed the storm while we were on that rocky boat and said to us, don't you have any faith? Can't you just believe in me? You're with me. You're good. So I get it. My mom used to fall asleep in church all the time. She would sit like in the front row too. And she would fall asleep in the middle of the sermon, and the pastor at the church would go up to her after church and say, hey, what? You're not getting enough sleep? What's going on? Why do you keep falling asleep on me? And I don't know if she was just really clever at the time or what it was, but she would respond, I'm so comfortable in God's house that how can I not just be comfortable enough to fall asleep? Which I don't think that's a true answer. I think she just pulled that out of somewhere. But he laughed and they brushed it off, and she has done her best to not do that again. I think it was just a long week for her. Is it okay to get comfortable? Sure. But I think that we still have to be careful in our comfort, that we don't get too overly confident in the choices that we make. There's something about having an accountability partner to keep you in check. You could be really deep into your spiritual walk, your relationship with God, and still take the wrong step, accidentally, or maybe you did it thinking you were doing the right thing. But who's there to keep you accountable? Obviously, the disciples had the best accountability partner you could have, Jesus Christ. But after that, they also had each other. Who do you have to keep you on the right side of things? Who do you have in your life to keep you accountable?
Look around the room. Really, take a look. Not one person in this room is perfect. We have all messed up, and we will continue to do so every day. But that is why we are here at church, because this is a place for the broken. It is a place for sinners in desperate need of forgiveness. Jesus saw this need and died on the cross to sacrifice himself for our sin, taking on all sin so that we might one day receive the kingdom of heaven. But some of us abuse this grace, this wonderful gift that we have been given. We see it as a free ticket to do what we want and when we want. But this is a huge misunderstanding. That's not how this works. With our forgiveness comes a call to a new life. We are called to die to our old ways, our old wants, our own desires, and come follow him. Only when we understand the gravity of that choice are we able to fully live out the call he has for our lives.